The Villain's Demand reviews Civil War, a Secret Wars tie-in, written by Charles Soule and art by Neil Francis Yu. Hey everyone, it's The Villain's Demand. Justin Von Doom. This is Hero Man, Nevin the Great, and today we're going to cover a Secret Wars tie-in, Civil War.
In Civil War, guys, it takes you back to where Captain America's squad is basically fighting Iron Man's squad in a prison that Iron Man has built. Cap and them find out it's going to try to trap them in, and they try to get out. So everybody tries to get out through Cloak. He opens up his cloak to bring everybody through to get them out of the building. But in doing so, he gets a lot of both sides out, and an explosion that kills a lot of people when they come back through. And then from that point forward, they kind of split it down the middle. Like this side is called blue, the other side is called iron, and that's where iron's more your I guess your wealthier people. There's better schooling, and then the other side is more survival. It's Cap side, more survival, fittest,
freedom,
more freedom based instead of having to enlist. And as the story goes on, they go through different plot twists with you think Black Panther's a villain at one point, and he's not. Eventually they find out it's Skrulls, and there's a bridge that connects the two, Cap and Blue, and then down in it the gully is where their base of operations was. And overall the book was kind of mediocre to me, but what do y'all guys think? We'll break it down for you.
I agree. I thought the book was mediocre. It had its moments, but there was a lot of doors and windows that they could have went through and expanded on. I felt like 5 issues was too short. I would like it to be longer. There was a lot of stuff they could have explored and explained, and it would have made the book really good. And I also hated the fact that they used the Skrulls again. You know, it was kind of, at first I hated that they were making it Black Panther. I'm like, oh no, never. And then after I thought about it, I liked it. I'm like, you know, I can do this. You know, it's different. And then they're like, oh, it's a Skrull. I'm like, really? Again? And that just kind of seems like the go-to thing when you run out of ideas. It's just overused. But that aside, the book wasn't too bad. There's a lot of little things you can take away from it. I like some of the merging of the characters. You got to see Wolverine and the Hulk, Hawkeye and Venom, SpiderMan with like metal falcon wings from like the movie, or the Beetle, or wherever you want to say the wings came from. Electro as Daredevil, a couple different ones that I thought were pretty cool. But they didn't expand on it very often. You just seen them do a little bit of something. That was about it. I would like to see more story about how they became merged, why, all that different stuff.
I myself agree with Hero Man. The book was okay. It had great spots that if this was to be continued, they could have done it, like, you know, where we were all expecting a like all-out fight through almost the whole book. You know, just battle after battle. You know, this is the key term here being war. It wasn't. A lot of it was more like espionage, spy stuff, which in the end, I guess I was okay with. Also, like Hero Man had said, the merging of what characters you've seen was really neat. I'd like to see a lot more of that. And to go on one that he had actually missed on, which I thought was my favorite, was the Kingpin Dr. Octopus merger, where Kingpin thought he would be, I guess, more of a badass if he had Dr. Octopus's arms. He's not aware that they're sentient. They kind of take him over to carry his corpse around. I thought that was really cool. But the book does have its moments. I guess the biggest one to us, which we've talked about plenty of times, is the merger of characters. And for one, like Wolverine to Hulk, where you know, at the time, if you're into comics, you know Hulk is off planet. The whole Planet Hulk thing is going on, which he comes back. You got War Hulk. He's not there. You know Wolverine's there. Wolverine has always admired Captain America, so obviously he's going to take sides. And it's cool because they're in the middle of a fight, and all of a sudden the Grey Hulk's there, and then you're like, well, okay, so they do have a Hulk. Tony references in it earlier in the book where Colossus takes a drone, throws it, says next time we'll send a Hulk. Tony's like, yeah, as if you had a Hulk. And then you don't realize it's Wolverine until he pops his claws in the middle of the fight. And to me, that's probably one of the biggest highlights of the book.
Yeah. Go ahead.
my favorite part of the book was actually the very beginning. Because I went into it a lot like Justin Von Doom was saying, thinking it was going to be a giant war, a huge battle, and it started off like that. It's the prison break when they're breaking, Cap and them were breaking out their guys. There's a big fight. It's just an all-out war, and I'm like, yes, you know, if the book follows this, it'll be pretty good. It'll be a war. Cloak's trying to get everybody out, as Evan the Great explained. He can't close his portal in time. The blast actually comes through, and that's what causes the Great Divide, like this Grand Canyon across the land. That's each side takes one side of it because Cloak couldn't close it in time, and an uncountable amount of people died.
It's like 15 million. It was retarded.
A huge amount of them died. But that was actually my favorite part of the book, because as soon as the book started, it was everything I thought it would be. I'm like, yeah, you know, I was all pumped up. I was into it. And then they kind of went away from that, and it was more guerrilla warfare. There's a lot of little things they could have touched on during the guerrilla warfare that could have made it better. Like when they send a little squad over to the Iron. It's SpiderMan, Venom, Elektra, or Daredevil, and Black Panther. At
a time which you don't realize is dead. He's dead. Yeah. This is Sully or whatever her name is.
Yeah, his sister. And I thought that little part was really cool, but it was really short-lived. I would actually have read another little offshoot just about that group, because you know that guerrilla warfare kind of stuff has to be going on. They've been divided for 6 years, I believe it is, and you know that little guerrilla warfare has been going on. I would like to see how that group came together, all their little missions. I thought that group was really cool, and you actually get to see Spider-Man put his wings to use. When he first popped them out in the beginning of the book, I'm like, oh, that's stupid. Why does Spider-Man need wings? You know, his biggest thing is his webs. They're taking one of his most iconic characteristics away by giving him wings. But then Evan the Great pointed out, well, everything's destroyed, dude. Like, he probably don't have a lot to swing on. Well, you know, that's a good point. And then Von Doom brought up the point that saves web fluid. Yeah, that's actually, if you're in a war, that's something you need to do. And then they're fighting a Sentinel, and he shows how useful they can be. He webs his arm up and then flies in a circle and actually makes it shoot itself in his head. That's something he normally probably couldn't have been able to do on something that size, which I thought was really cool in the use of his wings. I just wish they would have touched on that little espionage group a little bit more. I felt like that would have made the book a little bit better and fit a little bit more what I was expecting out of it.
To kind of expand on, since we're on the Spider-Man topic, Peter Parker and Mary Jane have a child, I guess, during this time. And even though Spider-Man is on one side, he sends his daughter to the other side to raise with Mary Jane to have a better education. That's just something to kind of think about, how hard that would be. And other parts of the story I really liked. I really liked the She-Hulk and Tony relationship. He seems like...
Because Tony's a pimp.
He is. And most of the time he would go for like a regular woman, but to be as powerful and as smart as she is, I could really see a dominant woman like that he would be after, and that kind of made sense. And then of course I like whenever he says they have the crew that go over Black Panther and all of them. What they're looking for is pieces of I forgot what it is.
The bomb, this weapon that they're building,
and they're going to build a weapon that can take people's powers away. And I'll kind of let Doom talk about that.
Which could have actually made up for the scrolls, the whole scroll outline, because, you know, like Hero Man said, that's been done. There's been certain what ifs, like after this has fallen, sudden the death of Captain America, they do a what if it was Iron Man, and in the end there's a Jarvis scroll there, but you can't really tell if they're getting towards Secret Invasion, which happens later on. There's Dark Reign what if, where you find out the Skrulls are involved with that, when Norman Osborn basically almost takes control of America. Well, to what he'd said, and it was Peter, Black Panther, Elektra, Daredevil, whichever one to call her, Venom, Hawkeye. They face the Kingpin, that's Doc Ock, and they're getting parts for this weapon. Well, this weapon, what they're going to do is they're going to neutralize all the superpowers on the Iron side. And basically they're going to go them into war, and they're going to release it. Which it happens, not in the fashion you would expect. They find out it's Skrulls. Tony finally makes Cap realize that, hey, look, the Skrulls are down there. We've got to do this. He doesn't tell Tony about the weapon. They go down there. All the heroes rush down there. Tony and Cap kind of kind of, in a sense, make up. And then Captain Tony's like, do it. So he does it, they get lost. And it neutralizes everybody to the point where, like he had said, where Peter had this jetpack on, you need that because everybody almost falls to their death. It doesn't really tell you if anybody dies from it from a fall, but people are neutralized. And you would think, okay, this is what's going to bring both sides together, and it doesn't. And that's how the book ends, which is not really what I was expecting. It kind of throws me off big time because you'd expect it. Hey, everybody's on an equal playing field now. We're all humans. We don't have to worry about superpowers anymore. Well, no, you're wrong. They're still divided between the iron and the blue.
Yeah, the only thing that changed is the iron being more technology based and more advanced. They actually start helping the blue because they were starving and couldn't get resources.
They trade them resources for land, and you could see where it's starting to come together.
Yeah, they're starting to work together a little bit. But that's another one of the things. They showed that they're starting to work together, and then it just ended. This book could have very easily carried on.
Yeah.
Just, multiple issues. And talking about something else I would like to see is the Blues, enforcers. They're called the Punishers. I thought that was really cool, and they barely touched on that. It was basically a little group together that they have together, like they're enforcers. It was Punisher, Gambit, Speedball, and Nitro, wasn't it? He showed up at top to fight She-Hulk, and then they're like, let the big boys take care of it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool, and I would love to see like an offshoot of them, or maybe more of them doing something, but there really wasn't.
It's just another part they could expand it on.
Yeah, like there's a whole lot in this book that it was a good idea. They're like, that's good, let's put it in the book, but then let's not go with it. Let's not show anything on it, And a lot of open doors that was never taken. And then an ending that was also easily could have been expanded on that I felt like was rushed and short-lived.
One of them other ideas that you're talking about, the Punishers they could expand it on, is the Mutants. In Civil War, the Mutants stayed neutral. And in this book, clearly it seems like most of them were on the blue side, because like we'd already talked about, Wolverine being over there, you see Magneto and Colossus. Well, to get Cap to realize that there are Skrulls, Tony brings in Emma Frost, which Emma Frost being high maintenance, it's no surprise that she would be over there. Which she also might be over there for the reason Pete sent MJ, and I'm assuming Mayday Parker over there, educational purposes. Maybe she realizes over there she can have the tools she needs to train mutants, and who knows, maybe she sent them over there. But, that's one of the big stories right there to me, because for one, Tony's got Sentinels. And if anything, if you're a mutant working over there, which you can't say if the mutants are targeting just mutants, because I would assume that they're not. But I mean, you would take that as a mutant, someone like Emma Frost, I would take that almost as an insult. Because, hey, I'm on a side that's using mutants to, technically in a sense, fight a war, which the mutants have dealt with their entire lives. And then you also get the story there with, Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Obviously, she's with Cyclops at the time. Where's the story in that? I mean, you don't even know if Cyclops is even around. It's just that she's over there, and that's another thing they could have really touched on is what mutants would have went to what side, and how did they get pulled into this conflict? It's really Marvel should take the time to expand on this story and make something out of it after Secret Wars is over.
I think it's a good opportunity.
It is. There's like you said, there's the mutants, there's the Punishers. Even after the war, Jennifer takes Tony's spot, Peter Parker takes Cap's spot, and MJ's still on the other side. So, I mean, there's a lot more there that if they wanted to take the time, it's something I would definitely read if they wanted to expand on is Secret War, Civil War. Because really, in an end, it's just a what if from Civil War at all.
Yeah, another thing is, when we're reading it, we thought we would see battles all through it. And it would have been interesting to see a comic book not end like that, end with a battle, but since all their powers took away, make it more like a happy ending and see how it would prosper going forward. I would really like to see that. But taking back that there was not enough issues for the story, and I'm starting to realize I think a lot of their miniseries on Civil War almost all of them are like 4 or 5 issues long. I'm wondering if they all
Rush.
have that capped, and they had to try to fit that in there, and we're getting some of these need more than that, and that's why they're coming lackluster to us.
Well, I mean, they could have done it because right now, you know, we've got just maybe a week and a half before Secret Wars is supposed to end. They added the extra 9th issue. And they keep pushing all the issues back, and most of this stuff ended by fall, mid-fall. I mean, seriously, I mean, obviously, Marvel should known at that time that, hey, we're going to push this back, because I don't think it was not too long after that they announced the 9th issue. But they could have took the time to stop some of these and spread it out, or even elaborate it, and, you know, just, there's enough time there to make 4 or 5 issues and just do a part 2 or some sort. I mean, they do crap like this all the time. I mean, why not do it the rest of these stories? They could have easily looked at what was good that was selling and elaborated on it. Because a lot of this stuff, these tie-ins, didn't sell that well. I mean, you can go to some spots right now and find them for $1. And it's not even been, they haven't even been done in the last 5-6 months. So next time, Marvel, you want to do an event like this, please, as true believers here, from all of us, please expand on some of these books if you're giving yourself time for the main title.
I want to touch on one more thing about the mutants since it's on my mind. 2 of the parts I really liked is when Storm goes apeshit nuts on the drone that comes over.
Yeah.
She's upset about the death of Black Panther and everything, and you get to see that little aspect of her, how she's hardcore. I really like that. And then I like the fastball special between the Hulk Wolverine and Captain America. That was a little different take on it, and I believe Cap says something like, sure you're not going to miss or something like that, and he's like, I've had plenty of practice, and chunks him as something like that. And I thought that was a really cool part of it too. I just wanted to touch on them little highlights of it.
And to show you there, you know, Wolverine has killer aim, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, like, Tony's flying, and, you know, Iron Man arms get to, like, sometimes Mach 8. And they're going towards helicarrier. For him to time that out is just, I mean, he's on spot. It's enough. Cap hits him with the shield, and then Cap lands up in the worst spot he could ever ask for, on top of the helicarrier.
Yeah, it was a good aim, but bad landing.
So, but that's it for Secret Wars tie-in Civil War. Hopefully you're watching this on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook, send us some tweets on Twitter, and we'll continue with more Secret Wars coverage. Keep reading, guys.